Hello YouTube, and a very special hello to all my subscribers. My name's Phil and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about my progress. This is month 15 of my journey in Project 24. I'm taking a moment out from my busy schedule this month building content for the Content Warrior Challenge, and we're doing really well with that. So I just want to quickly talk about how my sites are doing. So if you're interested in that, don't go anywhere. So guys, we're going to talk about 3 sites that I have that I've built using the Project 24 method. Now, the thing I want to point out here is with all these sites, I haven't spent any time really on promotion. I don't promote these on social media. I haven't really gone to approach anyone for backlinks or anything like that. These sites are growing quite naturally, quite organically. Now, they may be growing slower than if I were using other methods, but just for me, for the sort of time I have available to me, this method really works. So if you're interested in finding out exactly how I do that, then there is a link to a webinar for Project 24 in the description, and it's going to tell you everything you need to know. Okay guys, let's jump into that computer and see these stats. Okay, so here we are in the computer. So let's have a look quickly at the stats for each of the sites. So if we start off with site 1, so at the moment this has got 115 posts on it, of which 83 are response posts, 21 are staple posts, and 11 are pillar posts. And you can see that roughly it would have taken me about 338 hours to produce all that content. Now I have outsourced around 13 articles. It may be 1 or 2 more. I haven't really had a look at it today. And it's probably cost me around $400 for that. So I haven't really outsourced much content on this. Yeah, so it's still only got 13 videos on the YouTube channel, and I'm only really monetizing with Amazon. I've actually taken Ezoic off of this to test out if Ezoic was actually affecting my traffic, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Okay, so let's have a look at the stats. So looking at the stats for site 1 in Google Analytics, you can see it's got 11,246 page views. It's got an average time on page of about 5 minutes, and the bounce rate is just under 90% with an exit rate of about 85%. And you can see lots of dips and stuff, but it seems to be sort of recovering at the end. So at the end of the month, it got 443 page views on that day. If we just compare that to last month, so last month it got 10,700, so it's up by about 5%, which is good because this site plateaued for the best part of 3 months. So I think it's just because I've started to put some content back on it, and maybe some of those posts are starting to rank a little bit. So for me, this is quite positive. And so I did take Ezoic off around the 15th of this month to see what happened, but it's not really made a great deal of difference. So perhaps Ezoic wasn't actually tanking my traffic. Perhaps I just didn't really optimize it properly. So I'm probably going to give it another month just to test out how things change and put Ezoic back onto the website to see if I can get a higher sort of average earning for that. And just looking at the Google Search Console here, you can see that it got 7.14k clicks, 174,000 impressions. The CTR is about 4%, and the average position is 24.1. So again, it's sort of fairly flat for site 1, but you know, it's slowly building. Maybe doesn't have the same level of growth as before, but it's still moving in the right direction. So site 2, if you're a regular viewer, you know that's in the wedding niche. I haven't touched this in months. It's still only got 34 articles on it. It's just basically I didn't do a very good job with search analysis. I rushed it, but it's still getting a few winners. So let's have a look at this. So site 2 in the month of August, it got 1,878 page views. It's got an average time on page of about 6, nearly 7 minutes, but the bounce rate is about 95%. And you can see a little bit of a spike at the end of the month, but that's only 78 page views in a day. If we compare that to the month before, So before it was 1,834 page views, so it was about a 2% bump. So slowly building, but nothing really special. This site is really propped up on about 2 or 3 posts. So it's something that I should probably get around to building more traffic on by putting some more posts on it. If we look at the Google search console for this, so it got about 1,500 clicks, about 13,000 impressions. The CTR is about 11% on this one, and the average position about 18. So yes, it's still growing, but if you don't put any effort into something, it's not going to grow basically. Okay, so that brings us on to site 3. So this is really the site that's growing the most. So both site 2 and site 3 are started back in October, the 31st of October 2019, whereas site 1 started in May of 2019, so it was about the 21st of May. So this one is growing really quite well, quite quickly. So it's got 58 posts on it in total, of which 27 are response, 21 are staple, 10 are pillar, and it probably would have taken me about 218 hours to write that, but I totally outsourced this. However, I have been putting some content up there because I've got all these drafts of posts, but the issue I've had is the writers that I had, just the quality of the writers just went down. I actually spent about 3 or 4 hours this week editing one post because the guy who wrote it basically copied and pasted most of the article from other web pages, and because I was kind of a bit swamped with other projects, I didn't notice it before I paid him. So a lot of this stuff I'm having to rewrite from scratch, and it's just not the quality I want to put on the site. So although it's growing, it's not growing as quickly as it could do because I'm having to redo everything I've paid for, which is just a lesson learned, really. It's not something I'm going to do again in the future. Okay, so this site in the month of August got 17,733 page views. That is the most traffic I've ever got to a site ever in my life, so it's quite exciting. It's getting about 5-minute time on page, average time on page, 5 minutes. The bounce rate is 90%, but that's probably because the articles are sort of so helpful, people can get their answer and just leave, and that's okay in the eyes of Google. If we compare this to last month, so last month it got 13,000 page views, so that's up 34%. So this site is still growing really, really quickly, and I'm only putting maybe 1 to 4 articles on it per month. I mean, I really haven't gone through and edited those draft posts just because it's a little bit depressing to see that you've paid money for something that you're having to do yourself again. So it's growing just by all the things I've put on it before. And if we look at the Google Search Console for this one, it's got about 13,000 clicks. It's getting 356,000 impressions. The click-through rate is only about 3.6%, and it's getting an average position of 18. So it obviously had a bit of a drop down here. What was happening then? So that is sort of mid-August. That's interesting. But it seems to be coming back up again. It could just be the fact that I've been putting more content on it. Maybe that dilutes the average position number. I'm not really sure. And that brings us to the money. So this is kind of the thing that most people are more interested in, but I'm not doing particularly well here, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. So across all the sites, this is mainly site 1, I've got from Amazon $65.44. So it's true that site 3 has almost made Pizza Day. It's sort of on about $4.40. But mainly this is coming from the first site, site 1. What I also did back in July is actually to add on Amazon UK and Amazon in Canada, and I got a whopping 17 pence. But actually, in this month, it's kind of hit those minimum of 3 sales, and it's actually bringing a little bit of money. So, and in the Canadian Amazon, it didn't bring any sales for August, but it has done in September. So we're talking about that in the next one. So basically, when it comes to monetization, I am not doing as well as perhaps I could be doing, but this is not really the fault of the program that I'm following, which is Project 24 by Income School. It's actually just me, because I haven't really focused that much on monetization. I've really gone down the easy route. I've just stuck with Amazon. I've tried a few other affiliate programs, but I kind of had a few hurdles. The biggest of which is that because I don't live in the USA, a lot of these affiliate programs that are based there don't actually deal with anyone who's not a resident. You can't get paid that easily. So it's something that I need to sort of find a way around. So yes, I'm not making a lot of money right now, but the biggest challenge I've had is always building traffic. And the fact that now I know how to build traffic, I think that just if I concentrate on monetization later on, it's going to be much easier to fix than trying to fix no traffic. So at the moment, I'm spending a lot of time this month building content, and I think probably in October, I'm going to sit down and really figure out this monetization thing, because although I'm only earning just shy of $100 a month, I reckon with a few tweaks, I could quickly change that. So this will be the focus probably in the next month. But for now, you know, it just takes time to figure these things out. So I don't want you to look at my results and think, oh, you know, it doesn't work, you're never going to make any money. People do make money out of this. It's just that I haven't really focused on monetization yet. It's something that I will do in the future. So guys, if you want to know a little bit more about how I've built this traffic and how I've done that without any promotion at all, not building backlinks or anything like that, then do have a look in the description. There's a link to a webinar that shows you exactly how I do that, and that's by following the Project 24 method. I can't recommend it enough. It really does show you everything that you need to do. The only thing you need to do is actually follow the advice. Now, I haven't been able to do that in every aspect, but it's just a question of time and focus. And as I go along this journey quite slowly, I'm sure that I'm going to find my feet and finally make a full-time income. So guys, if you're interested in learning more about that, why not subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next video. See you there.